Imagine seeing one of our promising players being carted off the field. Panic sets in, right? Well, that's exactly what happened at training camp with Justyn Ross and Nazeeh Johnson. But there's a twist you won't believe. Stay tuned to find out what really went down and how it impacts our season. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video, so make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. All right, let's get started with our first story. The NFL has introduced some changes for the 2024 season, and the Chiefs are planning to make the most of them. Dave Toub and safety Justin Reid, who you might remember has stepped in as a kicker before, have been discussing how Reid could be used as a kickoff and coverage specialist. This would leverage Reid's superior tackling skills compared to Harrison Butker. Now, don't get it twisted. Butker is still our main man for kickoffs. Toub made it clear that Butker's talent for moving the ball and executing various types of kicks makes him the top choice. However, Reid and former rugby star Louis Rees-Zammit might also get some kickoff duties. The idea is to have these guys kick the ball into a target zone, giving our coverage team a better chance to pin down the returners. Imagine having 11 guys covering instead of 10. It's a game changer. Justin Reid hasn't practiced since the start of training camp due to an injury, but we're hopeful he'll be back in action soon. Toub also shared his thoughts on the new kickoff rules, especially as we approach the Hall of Fame game on August 1st. He's feeling both excited and a bit nervous about it. The team has been working hard on perfecting their strategy, practicing in walkthroughs, and analyzing their techniques. Toub is eager to see how different teams will approach these new rules and how officials will enforce them. One key takeaway from Toub's insights is the importance of kicking precision under the new layout. The goal is to kick the ball without much hang time, aiming for a low ball that lands inside the 10-yard line or skips into the end zone. This makes it harder for the return team to advance the ball easily. If we can force a touchback and start them at the 20-yard line, that's a win for us. The second story is Justin Watson and Justin Reid, and hear what Coach Andy Reid had to say. Starting with wide receiver Justin Watson, he's still sidelined after leaving Wednesday's practice with a foot injury. According to Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest, it's a minor issue, and Watson is expected to return in a few days. Coach Andy Reid mentioned that they're playing it by ear and taking it day by day, so no exact timeline yet. As for safety Justin Reid, he's still on the non-football injury list and hasn't practiced yet. Nate Taylor from The Athletic speculated that Reid might miss the majority of training camp. Coach Andy Reid did give a bit more context, saying it's been 9 days since Reid's injury, and while it hasn't been that long, Reid is eager to get back on the field. Coach Reid emphasized that nobody wants to be out there more than Justin Reid, so you can imagine how tough this is for him. Now, there was a bit of confusion during the press conference. When asked about Justin Watson, Andy Reid seemed to initially respond with details about Justin Reid, but he later clarified sticking to the day-to-day approach for Watson's return. In addition to Watson and Reid, there are still a few other veterans on the physically unable to perform list. These include guard Joe Thuney, cornerback Jalen Watson, defensive tackle Derek Noddy, and defensive end Charles Omenihu. None of these guys were practicing on Saturday either. The third story is, so what happened with Justyn Ross? Well, Ross was seen leaving the field on the back of a cart. Nate Taylor from The Athletic reported this, and it had everyone a bit worried since no specific details about his injury were available at the time. Seeing a player on the back of the cart usually raises some red flags because it can suggest a more serious injury. The back of the cart allows for more room, which is essential if there's a significant lower body issue. However, here's the good news. Ross later returned to practice. So it looks like his cart ride was just a precaution, and there's no major concern for his health right now. Ross's journey into the NFL has been quite a roller coaster due to his injury history, which delayed his pro career. He made the Chiefs' active roster in 2023, appearing in 10 games. This latest scare seems to be just that, a scare. Let's hope Ross stays healthy moving forward. Now let's talk about Nazeeh Johnson. This isn't the first time Johnson has had to leave practice early this week. On Wednesday, he was carted off the field, but it was later reported as a precaution. On Saturday, Johnson left practice again, this time with a hamstring injury as confirmed by the team. Sam McDowell from the Kansas City Star tweeted that Johnson was limping after a cornerback wide receiver drill. Despite this, he managed to walk off the field on his own, and even wanted to rejoin practice after being checked out in the tent. Eventually, he walked up the hill himself, which is a positive sign. Remember, Johnson is returning from a torn ACL suffered during last year's camp, so the team is understandably cautious with him. Walking up the hill on his own suggests that the injury might not be too severe, but they're not taking any chances with his recovery.